Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're plunging into a challenge almost everyone faces. How to get things done without feeling completely buried under the weight of it all. You've given us some fantastic source material for this, specifically excerpts from Richard Templar's How to Get Things Done Without Trying Too Hard.
Yeah, it's a really refreshing perspective, actually,
Yeah.
because it directly challenges that deeply ingrained belief that success is solely about grinding harder.
Right, just push through.
Exactly. So our mission today is to kind of cut through the noise, reveal some surprisingly counterintuitive insights,
Okay.
and equip you with practical tools, things you can use to navigate productivity with less stress and, well, more ease. We're going to look at why less can truly be more.
So let's unpack this. We've all been told, since childhood, right? Work hard and you'll succeed. It's practically a mantra.
It is.
But what the sources suggest is that this isn't just outdated, it can actually be counterproductive sometimes. They illustrate this with a story about Leo, who was always busy, alarms buzzing, deadlines looming, yet perpetually felt behind.
Sounds familiar for many people, I bet.
Totally. Then there was his friend Tom, who seemed much more relaxed, even had time for a leisurely lunch, but consistently met his commitments. What stood out to you most about that initial contrast?
Well, what's truly fascinating is Tom's deceptively simple secret. He says, I do less, but I do it right.
Less, but right. Okay.
And this isn't really about working fewer hours necessarily, it's about working smarter. It really makes you question, what if success isn't defined by the sheer volume of effort, but by a more strategic, intentional approach?
A different strategy.
Exactly. This shift in perspective is the very first fundamental lesson the sources highlight, and it completely reorients how we think about getting things done.
And this leads us directly to our mindset, doesn't it? That internal state.
Absolutely.
When you look at your overflowing to-do list, and your brain immediately screams, "This is too much," it's not just a feeling. The sources explain that this overwhelm can actually trigger a shutdown response in your brain.
Yeah, and the prefrontal cortex specifically.
Right. It's almost like a self-imposed mental block that prevents you from even starting.
Precisely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's all about our self-talk, how we frame challenges.
What we tell ourselves.
Exactly. Instead of letting that feeling of overwhelm paralyze us, the material suggests reframing it. Tell yourself, okay, I can handle this step by step.
Just one step.
Or even more powerfully, perhaps, I don't have to do everything, I just need to do something. And this isn't a call to laziness, not at all. It's an invitation to clarity and focused action.
Getting clear.
Yeah, it really echoes Tony Robbins' wisdom, which the source points out. Where focus goes, energy flows. Your energy literally follows where you direct your thoughts.
Now let's turn to how we can truly apply this, because my mind immediately goes to those daunting to-do lists that just seem to multiply.
Oh, yeah.
You start with a few tasks and suddenly you have like 25 items staring back at you.
Yeah.
Making you want to just walk away and watch cat videos.
It's such a universal experience, and the sources introduce a brilliant, counterintuitive alternative. The power of the 3-item list.
3 items, not 25.
Just 3. Instead of writing down everything under the sun, you only list 3 things. One easy win, like replying to a simple email.
Okay, something quick.
Right. One thing you genuinely enjoy, maybe like organizing some photos or
Let's
something.
say pleasant.
Yeah. And here's the truly insightful part, I think. One thing you've already done.
Already done. Like what?
Like waking up or making your coffee. The example of Emma is great. She starts her day checking off, drank a glass of water, listened to her favorite podcast while folding laundry, and then woke up.
That feels like cheating, but I love it.
It's a powerful psychological trick, though. It instantly creates a sense of forward momentum and accomplishment. The sources highlight this as critical for breaking that paralysis and building confidence.
I love that already did element.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but so effective. Okay, and to beat that endless internal debate of, should I do it now or later?
Right.
We've all been there, right? Standing in front of a task, arguing with ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. For 5 minutes before even touching it.
Exactly. The sources suggest something called predecisions. What's that about?
You've hit on the core idea. It's basically like setting your GPS before you start driving. You decide beforehand, maybe the night before, first thing in the morning. After breakfast, I'll dedicate 20 minutes to taxes.
Okay, specific time, specific task.
Right. Or at 3 p.m., I'll tidy the kitchen counter for 10 minutes. This seemingly simple act helps your brain stop arguing with itself. The decision is already made.
So action becomes almost automatic.
Pretty much, it conserves that precious mental energy. It's less about willpower in the moment and more about strategic planning beforehand.
And this idea of making action automatic with pre-decisions, it naturally leads us to something similar, doesn't it? What the sources call lowering the entry barrier.
Yes, exactly.
Often, we make tasks harder to start than they need to be, almost unconsciously setting up roadblocks for ourselves.
Precisely. It's like, if you want to read more, don't hide the book on a shelf. Put it right on your pillow.
Obvious cue.
Yeah. If you want to journal, keep a notebook and pen right on your desk, open. The sources highlight that often we don't lack motivation as much as we lack a system that makes starting incredibly easy. Effortless almost.
Removing friction.
Exactly. Even small changes in your environment can help you act without trying too hard. My old coach used to say, the hardest part is lacing up your shoes. So make lacing up easy, maybe leave your running shoes by the door, and the run usually follows.
That makes so much sense. And speaking of environment, have you ever tried to work in a messy space?
Oh, definitely.
It feels like you're fighting an uphill battle, constantly distracted by the visual noise, even if you don't consciously realize it. The sources have a great take on this.
They really do. A cluttered space sort of whispers, you're not ready. It subtly drains your attention, creates cognitive load without you even noticing.
Like background static.
Right. A clean, organized space, on the other hand, silently says, let's go. And it's not about deep cleaning your entire house. That can be overwhelming too.
No, please don't say that.
No. It's about starting small. Just one corner, maybe one drawer, one shelf, or simply clearing your immediate workspace. This small act of clearing clutter can dramatically improve your focus and sense of control. And this applies equally to our mental space too.
Which brings us to all those digital distractions. Notifications popping up, social media feeds pulling you in, endless group chats. They chip away at our focus without us even realizing it.
It's constant, isn't it? They pull us away from what we really intend to do.
So this begs an important question. How do we reclaim that elusive focus?
Well, the sources challenge us to try a focus sprint. Simple idea. Put your phone in another room.
Ooh, tough one for some.
It can be, but just for, say, 20 minutes. And concentrate on just one task. One focus sprint a day can be significantly more effective than hours of distracted, fractured work.
Quality over quantity. Absolutely. Brian Tracy's quote comes to mind here, which the source cleverly adapts. The key to success is to focus our conscious mind on things we desire, not things we fear.
Okay.
Now replace fear with Facebook or TikTok or whatever your digital kryptonite is.
Right.
And it still holds true. It's about that intentional redirection of your attention.
Okay, so we clear the physical space, we try these focus sprints.
Right.
But how do we make sure we don't forget those key tasks once our environment is clear? Because even with a pristine workspace, my memory can still, fail me.
Oh, for sure. Mine too. The sources suggest harnessing the power of visual triggers. Simple things.
Like what?
Like a water bottle conspicuously on your desk to remind you to drink. Your yoga mat placed right next to your bed so you practically trip over it in the morning.
Can't miss it.
Exactly. These simple environmental cues help you act without needing to constantly debate it or consciously remember. Environment often shapes behavior far more powerfully than motivation alone ever could. It's like building invisible nudges for yourself throughout your day.
I like that, invisible nudges. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. If you're someone who constantly says, oh, I'll start tomorrow, or the classic, it has to be perfect before I start, this next part is definitely for you.
Procrastination and perfectionism.
Yeah.
The dynamic duo of getting stuck.
Totally. We often get stuck wanting things to be just right, which ironically stops us from doing anything at all.
And the truth, according to the sources, is that starting is exponentially more important than perfect planning. Way more important.
Just get going.
Yeah. Think of Ben, the guy in the source who spent months meticulously planning an online course.
Right. Planning and planning.
But never launched it because he needed to make it better. 2 years later, still nothing. Contrast that with Maya, who launched an imperfect, good enough version of her course in a week.
Imperfect, but out there.
Exactly. She helped her first students, earned her first $1,000 in 3 weeks, and improved it continually along the way based on real feedback.
Learning by doing.
Precisely. As Zig Ziglar famously said, a quote also found in the material, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. You simply can't edit a blank page."
That's so true. This perfectionism can really kill progress.
Yeah.
It's a huge, insidious trap, isn't it?
Absolutely. It feels like you're aiming for high standards, but really you're just avoiding completion. The sources recommend embracing the concept of good enough.
Good enough, not perfect.
Right. If something is, say, 80% good, it's ready to go. Ship it, publish it, submit it. Sarah, the example who spent 3 hours on one paragraph of a blog post.
Oh, painful.
I never published it because it wasn't perfect enough, is such a classic, painful example. My own mentor used to hammer home the idea, perfect is the enemy of done, and it's a truth that frees you. It stops you getting bogged down.
And it prevents you from ever getting feedback to actually make it better later on.
Exactly. You need that feedback loop.
So often, we wait for those mythical big blocks of time to tackle significant tasks, hoping for that perfect, uninterrupted chunk of hours that rarely, if ever, appears in our busy lives.
It just doesn't happen often, does it? That's why the concept of time pockets is so incredibly valuable.
Time pockets. Tell me more.
These are those small windows, maybe 10 to 30 minutes, that pop up during the day that you can strategically leverage.
Like waiting time.
Yeah, exactly. Walking the dog, waiting for the kids to finish practice, standing in line at the grocery store. These are moments you can use. Answer an email, listen to an audiobook chapter, jot down ideas for a project, or even tackle one small part of a larger task.
Breaking it down.
Right. These small, consistent actions truly add up. It's like eating a pizza slice by slice. Eventually, the whole thing's gone. You didn't need a 2-hour sitting.
That's a great analogy. And even when we are actively working, our brains aren't machines that can run indefinitely, right? We need rest.
We absolutely do.
But we often push ourselves to the point of exhaustion, ironically becoming less effective.
You're spot on. And the sources strongly advise taking strategic breaks before you're exhausted, not as a reward for being completely drained.
Proactive breaks.
Yes. The 50-10 rule is mentioned 50 minutes of focused work, followed by 10 minutes of rest or movement, something completely different. This can profoundly refresh your mind and boost sustained productivity.
Get up, walk around.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is that many of our best creative ideas often surface during these moments of rest, when the mind is relaxed and wandering, not while we're actively forcing them. It's like your brain does its background processing then.
Letting the subconscious work. Okay. This whole approach seems to build on positive reinforcement, almost like we're learning to treat ourselves more kindly and effectively.
It really does. The sources emphasize celebrating small wins, and they mean it literally.
Like actually celebrate.
Yeah. Finished a 10-minute task? High five yourself. Seriously. Or just acknowledge it. Okay, done. Good job. This positive feedback isn't just feel-good fluff, it literally rewires your brain.
How so?
It helps release a little dopamine, that feeling of accomplishment, which makes your brain want more action, to seek that feeling again. You're essentially coaching yourself into a more productive pattern, not merely training a robot to execute commands.
So every little win is like a breadcrumb.
Exactly, a breadcrumb leading you through the forest of procrastination.
I like that. And speaking of those quick wins that truly shift momentum, there's a wonderful anecdote in the sources about something as simple as a dishwasher.
Oh, the dishwasher story. It's such a powerful illustration of perception versus reality.
Tell us about it.
Well, the sources share how someone used to absolutely dread doing the dishes. They saw it as this huge, never-ending, energy-draining chore, avoided it for hours, sometimes days.
Sounds familiar.
Right. Then one day, just out of curiosity, they timed it start to finish, and it took only 6 minutes.
6 minutes, that's it.
6 minutes.
Yeah.
Yet they built it up in their head into this massive ordeal, avoiding it for hours. This simple insight led to a powerful, transformative rule they adopted. If it takes less than 10 minutes, do it now.
The 10-minute rule.
Exactly. This simple mental shift can utterly transform your home environment, your workflow, even your general mood, because you're not carrying around the weight of all those small, undone tasks.
It's about conquering those small, annoying things that just chip away at your mental peace.
Precisely. I'd challenge everyone listening. Think of one task you avoid that probably takes less than 10 minutes, and just try doing it now or right after this. See how it feels.
Good challenge. Okay, so we've got mindset, strategy, environment, energy. How do we make all of this stick? Because motivation, as we know, can be so fleeting.
Yeah.
Like the weather, right?
Totally. One day you're super energized, ready to conquer the world. The next you're just dragging yourself through treacle.
Exactly. So what's the key to consistency?
This raises that important question. What's truly more reliable than fickle motivation? And the answer is habits.
Habits, right. Systems over willpower.
Exactly. The sources introduce what they call the 2-minute rule. It's super simple.
Oh.
If a habit, or the very first step of a task, takes less than 2 minutes to start, you are dramatically more likely to actually do it.
Just 2 minutes to get started.
Yeah. The key isn't necessarily to finish perfectly right then, but simply to show up. Just open the document, read one paragraph, wipe one kitchen surface, put on your running shoes.
Lowering that activation energy again.
Precisely. Once you start, momentum naturally builds, just like rolling a snowball down a hill. It gets bigger and easier to keep going with each push.
Okay, that makes sense. We've talked a lot about creating a clean physical space, but what about a clean mental space? Our minds can get so incredibly cluttered with thoughts, worries, unfinished loops.
Oh, absolutely. A busy mind is indeed like an internet browser with 20 tabs open, nothing loads properly, everything lags, and the whole system just slows down.
Everything feels fuzzy.
Right. The sources suggest making mental clarity a daily habit, something concrete you can do.
Like what? Meditate.
That can help, sure. But they suggest something even simpler. At the end of each day, take just 5 minutes to write down anything that's on your mind. Worries, ideas, tasks, reminders.
A brain dump.
Exactly. A mental inbox dump. Get it out of your head and onto paper or into a digital note. You're not necessarily solving problems in that moment. You're just downloading the noise, freeing up mental RAM.
Clearing the cache.
Perfect analogy. This leads to better sleep because your brain isn't churning on all those loops and far clearer thinking the next day. As T. Harv Eker put it, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Clearing the inner clutter helps clear the outer path.
So listening to all this, it sounds like the ultimate goal isn't to build some grand, perfect, overly complicated system that you never actually used.
Precisely. That's a key takeaway. The sources strongly caution against building what they call castles, those elaborate planners, complex routines, or sophisticated apps that look amazing but take ages to design and often never actually get finished or consistently implemented.
The perfect system that never gets used.
Exactly. Instead, build a small, working system. Something manageable, like a daily list of just 3 tasks, a 20-minute focus sprint each morning, a weekly 15-minute space reset.
Simple and functional?
Yes. It's far, far better to have a tiny, maybe slightly imperfect working system that you consistently use every day than a theoretically perfect one that just collects dust on the shelf.
Makes sense.
As Leonardo da Vinci wisely observed, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Keep it simple, make it work for you.
So to recap our deep dive today into how to get things done without trying too hard, we've explored these crucial shifts in mindset, moving towards smarter actions over just brute force, optimizing your environment, both physical and digital, and intelligently boosting and managing your energy levels.
Yeah, from clearing clutter even just a little bit to celebrating those tiny wins along the way.
High-fiving yourself.
Yes. The wisdom here is truly about precision, not pressure. Small, smart changes.
Think of your life as a garden, maybe.
That's a great way to put it. You don't wait for a full free weekend to tend to it that might never come. You water one plant today, pull one weed tomorrow, plant one new habit the day after. This consistency, these seemingly small, almost effortless daily actions, that's where true sustainable growth happens.
And where overwhelm starts to naturally melt away.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like such a monumental effort anymore.
And I love that quote you mentioned from the source attributed to Denzel Washington. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship.
It's powerful, isn't it?
It really challenges our ingrained belief that everything worthwhile must feel difficult or like a struggle.
It really does. And this leaves us with a truly provocative thought, I think. What if the biggest barrier to your progress isn't the inherent difficulty of the task or even a lack of motivation, but simply the subtle, comfortable ease of staying exactly where you are right now?
The comfort zone trap.
Right, so challenge yourself, but do it gently, with intention, using some of these lazy geniuses principles. Maybe ask yourself, what small, less than 10-minute action can you take right now, or as soon as this deep dive ends, to begin building your own smarter, less stressful approach to getting things done?